Every day on my commute to work, I pass through the old, decrepit tunnel that cuts through the mountain. Locals call it the Time Slip Tunnel, but I always dismiss the name as one of those quirky urban legends. Sure, I'd noticed that I seemed to lose a minute or two when I emerged on the other side, but I figured it was just a wonky car clock. Today, though, something was different. The air was thicker, almost tangible, and a sense of foreboding clung to my skin like a damp shroud. As I entered the tunnel, I felt a sudden jolt, as if the world had shifted slightly off its axis. When I emerged into the daylight, the world seemed eerily unfamiliar. The road was the same, but the cars looked like something out of a futuristic sci-fi movie. I pulled over to gather myself, catching my reflection in the rearview mirror. My heart stopped. Staring back at me was a face I barely recognized. Deep lines etched across my forehead, my hair, now streaked with gray, and my eyes, sunken with age. I scrambled for my phone, hands trembling, and it slipped from my grasp onto the seat. The date glaring back at me was 25 years in the future. I couldn't comprehend how I had lost decades in mere seconds. Panic surged through me, a tidal wave of fear and confusion. I drove to the nearest town, hoping for answers, and was met with an unfamiliar skyline. The streets teemed with people, but their fashion and gadgets were unlike anything I'd ever seen. I approached a stranger, trying to mask my desperation, and learned that everyone knew the legend of the tunnel. They spoke of it in hushed tones, warning that those who entered might never return unchanged. But no one had ever aged this drastically before. I became a reluctant celebrity, the man who survived the tunnel's most extreme trick. As the sun set, casting a blood-red hue over the horizon, I knew I had to find a way back to my own time. I returned to the tunnel, heart pounding like a war drum, and hesitated at the entrance. The darkness inside seemed to pulse, inviting yet threatening. With a deep breath, I plunged into the abyss, determined to reclaim the years I'd lost. The tunnel swallowed me whole, and as I emerged, I found myself back in the present, the familiar road stretching out before me. But something was wrong. My reflection in the mirror was young again, but my hands shook uncontrollably, and a whispering voice echoed in my mind, promising that the tunnel had marked me forever.